What's good, beautiful people? The Black Thumb here, and today we are pruning some orchids. So in this video, we will talk about the importance of pruning your orchids, and then we will go through a few different situations that you may encounter when that time comes for you to prune, and we'll do a little demonstration with these orchids here in front of me. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's start by talking about the importance of pruning your orchids. And we have Phalaenopsis orchids here today, so that will be the species of orchid that we'll be working on today. But the importance of pruning is really to hit the reset button for your orchid as it transitions from the flowering phase into its rest cycle, where it's really going to focus more on its leaf growth and its root development. Pruning also can be important if you are trying to get a rebloom on an existing flowering spike. So we'll go through all of those situations right now. And I think the important thing to take away from this aspect of the conversation is that pruning is a necessary part of the orchid to stay healthy and to thrive and to be in a position where it's going to flower for you year over year. So you don't want to miss this video. So stay locked in. So there are three primary situations where you will want to think about pruning your orchid. And so we have examples of each of those here. So the first example is when the flowering spike is completely dead. The other example is when you have flowers that are dying and you're starting to see yellowing or browning of the flowering spike. And then our third example is when you have an existing flowering spike that still looks viable from top to bottom, but it is starting to show signs of branching or reblooming. And let's go through each of these situations now so you know what you should do to promote the best outcome for your orchid based on how it looks and based on where it is in the stage of its post-flowering phase. Okay, so let's start with our very first example for our pruning demonstration. So this situation is one of the easier ones to kind of make decisions around because this one's pretty cut and dry, no pun intended. So this is the situation where you have a flowering spike or multiple flowering spikes that are completely dead. And how you know that these flowering spikes are completely dead is they look like little twigs. They are hollow, they are shriveled, and they are brown from the tip all the way to the center of the plant. So in this situation, you want to absolutely go ahead and remove the entirety of these flowering spikes because it's no longer serving the plant. It's not necessarily detracting from the plant, but I would say aesthetically, it doesn't necessarily contribute to the plant. So in these situations, you want to go ahead and cut this all the way at the bottom as close as you can to the center of the plant without injuring the plant. And so that's what we're gonna do now. So anytime before we're gonna prune anything or remove anything with shears, we want to make sure that they are nice and clean as we can. There are a few ways that you can clean your shears. You can clean them with a Clorox wipe, which is what I'm gonna use. You can also clean them with dish soap and water, warm water, and then you can also soak them in like an isopropyl alcohol to basically just kind of get rid of any potential bacteria, because you don't want to increase the risk of introducing some type of bacteria or some type of fungal or any type of infection to your orchid in the pursuit of trying to make it healthy long term. So let's do that now. So go ahead and clean this joint real quick. Okay, so now that we have nice clean garden shears, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get into the pruning portion of our demonstration. And so again, we want to cut as close as we can to the base of the plant or the center or the core of the plant without actually injuring that plant. So let's do that now. And so we just come in and we snip that off just like that. And then we'll do the same with this one here. And so we'll come right in, go as low as we can, and snip it off. And that is the first demonstration that's done. And then from there, what you're gonna do is you're gonna stay consistent with your care, stay consistent with your watering schedule. If your orchid is in a really nice spot, you're gonna put it back where it's nice and happy and healthy. And then you're gonna wait until it grows a new flowering spike. So that's the first demonstration and the first situation where you would need to prune your orchid. So let's move on to the next one. All right, so let's talk about the next situation where you would want to consider pruning your flowering spike on your orchid. Again, these are Phalaenopsis orchids that we're working with today. So this is an orchid that is headed into its post-flowering phase. And you can see that we still have some flowers that are attached that are drooping and dying and will eventually fall off in the next handful of days if I was to just leave it alone. But what I really want to direct your attention to is the fact that the flowering spike altogether is already showing signs that it is not going to make it. Even so, that even where it's a little bit green down here, it is already starting to brown and show signs of yellowing, and it is headed for the exact same fate of our previous example where the entire flowering spike is going to die back. Now, in this situation, there are a couple of schools of thought. I mean, in this particular situation, this is the prime case where you would cut it back and, to give it that rest. And so essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut just above this primary node here. And the reason being is because while it's showing signs of dying back, this flowering spike is still firm, meaning that it is still holding some moisture. And so while the flowering spike is holding this moisture, this orchid still thinks that it is in the flowering phase. And so what we want to do is we want to make it very clear that it is time for this orchid to rest. It's time for this orchid to hibernate, so to speak, and really focus on its leaf growth and its root development. And so one of the ways that we can do that is through pruning. So that's what we are going to do now. So again, we are typically speaking, you will count. So you see these nodes here, there's a node here, there's a node here, and then there's some nodes along here where flowers used to be that are no longer there. So we typically want to cut 1 to 2 nodes above where the flowering spike is growing out of the orchid or the core of the plant. And the reason being is because these nodes kind of serve as barriers just in case you do introduce some type of bacteria in the process of pruning. These barriers will typically stop it, or it just serves as a way to protect the core of the plant. So that's what we are going to do now. So again, we're gonna clean our gardening shears, and then from there, I'm just gonna take off these clips. I hope y'all are out here saving y'all's clips. These clips are super clutch. We use them for all sorts of things. Obviously, you can use them to attach your orchid to things and help train it when it's growing. You can also use them in your other garden for other reasons, in like other gardening situations. We've used them to like clamp netting down to keep, pests and squirrels and those types of things out of our veggie garden. So hold on to these clips because these clips are super valuable. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take this out just so that you can get a better visual of what we're doing here. So again, we are going to cut 1 to 2 centimeters above this node here. And we're just gonna do a nice clean cut. And now that is done. Now, over time, this flowering spike will continue to die back because it's already showing signs that it's gonna do that. And once it turns that like dry, crackly, hollow brown color, then I can come back and cut it even closer to the center of the plant. But for now, we're gonna keep it the way it is. And then again, you put this back where it was thriving in your home, continue with the care routine that you've been using, especially if that care routine has been giving you positive results. And that is our second situation. Okay, so let's move on to a very similar situation to the previous situation that we talked about, where an orchid has flowered, it's dropping or has dropped its flowers, and now you're just kind of stuck with this flowering spike. Now, what's different about this situation compared to the last situation was that the flowering spike that was still holding flowers was already showing signs that the entire flowering spike was going to die back. So that's why we just went ahead and snipped it off, leaving 1 or 2 nodes just for an extra layer of protection. Now, in a lot of situations, or maybe not a lot of situations, but there is a school of thought out there that says as soon as an orchid is done flowering, you should go ahead and cut it, leaving 1 or 2 nodes at the bottom to, again, really kind of let the orchid know it is time for it to rest. There are other situations where you can get a rebloom, and we'll talk about that in just a second. And so let's talk a little bit about the pros and the cons of leaving the flowering spike versus cutting it. Now, the pro of leaving a flowering spike is obviously that there is potential that that orchid can rebloom on that existing flowering spike, and you can get another blooming cycle, or you can get another set of flowers on that same flowering spike in a relatively short amount of time after it drops its flowers initially. And so if you are in a situation where your orchid has dropped its flowers and the flowering spike is still, for the most part, green and viable, there's a chance that you can get a rebloom on that existing flowering spike. Now, the con or the drawback to leaving that flowering spike there is that essentially orchids will tend, this is a little bit morbid, but orchids can be suicidal in the sense that as long as there is a flowering spike there, they are going to do everything in their power to flower, even to the detriment of the overall plant. So in this case here, we have an existing flowering spike that already flowered once. They pruned it back to this point here because they got a rebloom on this flowering spike. So they've already gotten, so this orchid has already bloomed twice on this existing flowering spike, or at least twice. I don't know, I got it in this condition, so this is just my assumption. So what I wanna do, especially because I just got this orchid a few weeks ago, it was given to me, I wanna give this orchid the rest that it deserves. So we are going to prune 1, 2 nodes above and really kind of hit the reset button on this orchid, because as you can see, the leaves are a little flimsy. So I really want this orchid to focus on its root growth, even though it has lots of great roots, and its leaf growth. And I'm gonna actually repot this orchid because it's pretty root bound and just needs fresh potting media overall. So that's what we're gonna do in this situation. And then again, we are going to go 1, 2 nodes above and then cut 1 to 2 centimeters above that. Nice, clean, straight cut. And then we're done. And again, we're gonna put this back where it belongs, or where it's thriving or doing well in the home. And then at some point in the future, we'll get this orchid repotted. And again, the expectation is that this will start to die back, which again, just continues to send signals to the orchid that it is time for it to rest and it's time for it to go into a more hibernating phase before it reemerges to flower again, hopefully next year. Okay, so this is the final situation, or of the more common situations where you will need to consider pruning your orchid, and in particular pruning your flowering spikes after your orchid is done flowering. And so we just talked about kind of the pros and the cons of leaving your flowering spike after it is done flowering initially, because it could give you the potential of growing new shoots and getting you new blooms. And that is exactly what we are seeing here with this orchid. Now, if you have an orchid in this position where it has already bloomed once and the flowering spike is starting to show signs of a rebloom, make no mistake about it, you are still winning. This is great. Like, you're gonna get 2 blooms off of the existing flowering spike. You also may have wondered, whether or not there are pruning considerations in this situation, and I'm here to tell you that yes, there are. Now, what I will say, or what my recommendation would be for you if you are in this situation, is to prune everything that is above where your new flowering shoots are growing. And so that's what we'll do here. Now, remember that orchids, again, are suicidal, so they are going to do everything in their power to bloom while that existing flowering spike is there. And one thing to consider as it relates to reblooming on an existing flowering spike, you typically don't get quite as many flowers, and those flowers don't typically last as long, even when you're doing everything right with your care. So that is just something to be aware of, and don't think that it's you doing something wrong or that you need to drastically change what you're doing in your care routine. That is just kind of how it works, because again, this orchid has been really putting all of its energy and effort into flowering. It's finally getting that payoff. And let's be honest, it's tired. It's been running a marathon. And so over time, the returns are going to be diminishing, which is why we want to give it that rest eventually. But for now, we want to keep these flowers because after all, that's why we're growing orchids, right? We're doing it for the beauty and the aesthetic that it brings to our home or to whatever space that we're in, and to feel some joy that, like, hey, I grew something that was able to flower and show its beauty to the world. So let's run through very quickly where you need to cut and how to prune in this situation. So the first thing that we're gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of expose the flowering spikes here. And so essentially, this is our top. This flowering spike here is the top one on this side. This one here is the top flowering shoot or offshoot on this side. So we want to cut 1 centimeter or 2 above where this offshoot is coming out of, and then we're gonna make our cut. Just like that. And then we'll do the same thing over here. And let's see, we'll flip it around so you can actually see. There we go. Okay. And so now, by us cutting off these more viable pieces that there's no chance that they're gonna flower from this area because they've already flowered in this area. Those flowers have dropped, they're gone forever. And so is potential of reblooming on these parts of the flowering spike. What it's gonna do is it's going to take whatever energy the orchid was putting into these areas of the flowering spike. It's going to now channel or redistribute that energy to the rest of the flowering spike, including hopefully encouraging more flowering or more buds to basically start to show themselves. And so these are the primary situations where you want to think about pruning your Phalaenopsis orchid. We talked about when it's completely dead, when it's showing signs of dying, when it is still viable but probably needs a rest if it has already rebloomed, and in the process of reblooming or showing signs that it will rebloom, how to prune your orchid. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that cleared up some of the nuance around when you should and when you shouldn't. And I hope you have a better sense of how to prune your orchids moving forward. Y'all go out and make sure you subscribe to my channel, especially if this video was helpful. Like, share, comment, and let me know what your pruning practices are and if there's anything that I missed. And I hope that helps and your orchids keep blooming.